Welcome one and all to another TalkTruth Live Series. I'm your host, Shanique Davis, and this is Real Talk, Real People Live. So, without further ado, I'm just going to give a quick shout out to the people who are always here first. Hey, Genesis, how are you? I see you. Thank you all for coming out each night. You are who makes the show what it is each week. Thank you to our sponsors. For those who missed it last week, we did an unboxing live. We're still trying to figure out the whole light thing, but we're getting there. So I want to give a shout out to the persons who have subscribed. Thank you for giving us your support. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing. Even if you don't get to see us each week, thank you. We appreciate you. So tonight, as you can see by the title, we're going to be talking about the refining. Yes, and I know when you hear refining, what comes to mind? Maybe some diamonds, some pearls, a little gold, all of that stuff. We have a gem coming on tonight, and by gem I mean yes, a gem, priceless. She's gonna tell us about her journey as it relates to the refining. So without further ado, please remember to like and share this video, leave a comment so we can give you a shout out once we get started. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and that is especially for persons who do not have a Facebook account, and we appreciate you. So tonight's hashtag challenge, I'm going to let Genesis do that for us since she's the first one here. So I'm waiting on that. Now I'm going to start us off with a brief word of prayer, and then I'll tell you who our guest tonight is. Let us pray. Father in heaven, we thank you for today. God, we thank you for your peace that surpasses all we understand. I pray your peace will be upon us tonight. Lord, I pray that as we speak to your people about refinement, I pray that, God, you will teach us true refining. I pray that, God, each and every step of the way, you'll continue to be there. Help us to recognize you on our journey. That, God, it is in you that we live, breathe, and have our being. Father, we ask that you continue to extend your dearest mercies to us, cover us tonight. I pray that we will have sweet fellowship, and I pray that your people will not leave here the same way they came, but God, they will be inspired, empowered, motivated, God, by your daughter. I pray that you'll speak through her. Bless our guest this evening, and we ask you, God, for these and other mercies. In Jesus' name, amen. Ooh, I see people. Don't forget to like and share the video, guys, and subscribe. So aside from Genesis, we have Kemar Davis. Facebook is not working for him. All right, sorry to hear that, sir. Hello from San Diego, California. This is Eleanor Ortiz. Thank you for tuning in, sis. Please share so we can get more people to support our guest. So tonight's guest is an actress. She is a director. She's also an author, and she lives in Toronto, Canada, right? She also has a Bachelor's of Fine Arts degree from the University of Toronto and a diploma in acting from Sheridan College. She has been working in the theater industry professionally for over 10 years and has now written her debut novel entitled The Refining, which explores many self-esteem and mental health issues Juel suffered from for years. And tonight's guest is none other than Juel Brown. She'll be sharing her story with us tonight on her journey of the refining. Hi, Juel.
Hi, everyone. Hello. Thank you for having me on, Shanique.
Thank you for coming. And you actually beat me because I usually tell persons to say hi to the viewers. Tell them thank you for coming. But yeah,
I beat you to it. Okay.
So, how has your day been,
Good. My day has been good. Just been busy getting ready for the book launch, which is happening in 15 days. So just getting everything ready for everyone to get this bad boy in their hands. So yeah, it's good.
Right.
Yeah.
That includes me because I have to get mine.
Yes.
So start us off by telling us about the inspiration behind that beautifully designed book cover, Miss Juel.
Behind the book cover. Okay. Well, the book is about people discovering who they are and what they're worth. And self-worth is something that I struggled with very silently for many years. So I wanted a book cover that was pensive, that was kind of showed the weight of what the book dealt with, and a little bit urban. And that was a struggle. Getting this book cover made me almost give up on doing the book. I went straight to a big company who promised me a cover in 2 weeks. And 5 weeks later, we were still going back and forth with no end in sight. And so I had to push back my launch date to November 4th. And then I went with just a smaller one woman company who charged me a fraction of the cost. And within like 8 days, she had this beautiful cover for me. And so I'm so grateful to her. And she designed the spine and the back matter as well. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. And I've got really good feedback so far. So yeah.
That's exciting stuff. So now tell us about your journey to the refining or refinement.
Wow. Well, my passion has always been storytelling, which is why I went into theater, being able to tell stories on stage as an actress, being able to write stories as a playwright, being able to tell stories as a director through other actors. It's always been really, really a passion of mine. I'm fascinated by people, by how they interact. I'm fascinated by different personalities and different struggles that people go through. And the book is actually based on my 2014 musical called The Singers. And my husband, as we were going through different titles of what we could call the book, my husband, Keaton, I love him so much. He came up with this name. And so all credit, hats off to you, sweetheart.
Big up, Keaton.
Yes, who came up with this name and who actually gave me the idea to write this book. And the name, The Refining, is just us refining who we believe we are. You know, for a long time in my adult life, though I had a loving, wonderful husband, 2 loving, wonderful children, a very supportive family, for so much of my adult life, I was defining my worth based on how other people saw me and how other people treated me, and the things that I thought they thought about me is what gave me my self-worth or lack thereof. And most of the time it was lack. And I had to really redefine what I value about myself and see it through my own eyes, see it through God's eyes, see it through my family and my friends' eyes, and not the people who kind of take advantage of you and abuse you, but through who you really are. And I think it's that redefining of how we see ourselves that helps improve our mental health, helps improve the quality of our life. And that's what this is about, is the people in this book. I really hope that readers can identify with them as they are redefining how they view themselves and how the world sees them, and how to put all those pieces of the puzzle together to come up with who I am and what makes me me. So yeah.
I'm still waiting on the hashtag, but since Jenny says, I'm not sure if she's still here, but I'm gonna start the hashtag challenge, and that's gonna be refining or refine. Should it be refining or refinement? Let's use refining, okay? The refining. Let's keep it at the book's title. The refining. So hashtag challenge for the night, the refining. Now, my concern to you, Miss Juel, is what would you say is the most interesting thing that you've learned on this journey to basically loving yourself more, or finding your own validation?
I think the most interesting thing is the lies that an unhealthy mental state tells you. Those lies are so real. And it's funny. It's the day that it just kind of clicked to me that I am not what people say I am. When I looked around, I I actually, if I made a list, I was surrounded by so much love and so much support. And that was what amazed me the most, was that the support was there. The love was there. I had every reason to feel happy and fulfilled and supported, but it was the lies that were playing over and over in my mind that were telling me that there's no one around and nobody loves me, and it was just not true. And I think it's amazing how powerful those lies can be if you
Yes.
let them have power over you. If you
Yes.
let that false truth have
Mhm.
power over you, it can weigh you down in any situation in your life. So the moment I realized that, the moment that
Mhm.
clicked,
Yeah.
that was just really a breakthrough for me. And I'm still working on it. It's still a
Mhm.
process. I think for everyone, it's always a process. You know, every day there's a new struggle, there's a new trial that you're
Yes.
working through.
Mhm.
But when you have faith, and
Yes.
when you're surrounded by love, and when you hold on to truth, right? Truth
Yes.
talk. When you hold on to truth, and not onto the lies, then that's when you can really thrive.
Yeah.
So I'm really grateful for that breakthrough moment. Yeah.
And it's funny, a lot of us, as you said, we have the support. We have this healthy environment of people who would give us, this whole validation. Oh, Joel, you're so talented. Like, I see you going places. They encourage you nonstop. Like, love is endless there, and you find yourself caving into this well. I I can't, I don't want to say it's maybe it's false truth, because you find yourself believing it more than anything else. Tell us some of the false truths that you told yourself. Maybe some of the viewers can relate. And if you are here listening to us, we're talking about, whole redefinement journey with Joelle. So if you are here and you can relate to her journey or her story, you can just post a comment and we'll share it afterwards. What are some of the things that you've told yourself as false truths that
Mhm.
you believed?
I think one of the biggest ones is that this whole, it's so silly now that you say it, but I'll share in case anybody can relate. But it really is silly now that you've overcome it and you look back on it. But it's this whole concept of a best friend. In my
Ah,
adult life, I've really struggled with that concept of having a best friend.
mm,
And I think a lot of people have hurt me, a lot of people that were really close to me that I really would consider a best friend have completely not been nice to me.
yes, I understand.
Yeah. And it's tough, and I think I kept searching for this best friend. Mind you, I have a wonderful husband and he is 100% my best friend, but I'm talking like a girlfriend, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And I searched and I searched, and I would always find people who I consider to be my best friend, and I would say, oh, they're my number one, but I wasn't their number one. And I
Mm,
would continue to put people up on this pedestal that I'm going to be their number one because they're my number one. And
mm,
they weren't. I was their number two, their number five, their number seven. And
mm.
when I looked around and it seemed like I wasn't anybody's number one, I thought, well, then if I'm not important to anyone, then 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 what? Then what? Then where does that leave me? And it's tough. I'm a big movie buff, and
Mm.
as much as I don't like romantic comedies, I love romantic comedies. Like, it's a hate love relationship, and I love chick flicks, and I indulge in those are my guilty pleasures for sure. And you watch the movies with the girl pals, like, um Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants or Sex in the City, and you see these women and they've been friends for 10 and 15, 20 years. And I hear friends in real life talking about, oh, I'm going out with my high school friends or my college friends or my middle school friends. And I'm looking around and I'm like, okay, so who do I have? you know, who's my friend? And that was one of the false truths that I was telling myself, was that if I don't have a friend past a certain number of years, if I don't have someone who's going to say, oh, Juel's my best friend, then nobody cares about me. And I have so many people around me that care about me. And it's not about labels, and it's not about the length of time, and it's not about any of those things. It is quality over quantity, 100%. And I have some hardcore like girlfriends that would do anything for me, you know, and I wouldn't give them up for anything. And have I known them for 100 years? No. Have we been best friends for 100 years? Am I their best friend? Probably not. But hey, if I need someone, they're there, and that's what's important. And I think that was a huge stumbling block, that when I overcame that, I could be at peace and I could enjoy the relationships around me.
Yeah. Right. All right. So I think I'm gonna start taking questions now.
Okay.
So Genesis wants to know, what do you do to help others, or who are wanting to get into the film world?
Okay.
Do you help others who are determined to break into that industry?
That's a really good question, Genesis. So my main background is theater. And so I've been in films before, but it's not my niche market. My suggestion, if you want to get into film, it would be to do it as much as you can. Now, people think to get into something, they have to wait for this big break to do it. And that is not the case. You can do it in your living room. You can go online and find free scripts. You can find monologues of movies or TV shows that you think are your type, meaning your approximate age and look. And you can practice those, memorize them, tape yourself doing the monologue, tape yourself doing the scene, watch it back, tape yourself, send it to friends and family, get their feedback. And you can continue to work on your craft. And especially if you don't have any formal training, you can work on your craft and you can build it up so that when the time comes and you feel ready, you can step into a film class and take a film class, which I highly suggest, or step to an agent and tell them that you're looking for representation. But I wouldn't jump there first. I would say if you can devote 1 hour every day to doing that, you will be more than ready. Give yourself 6 months, give yourself a year, and practice, get feedback, get just any family, friends, anyone to give you critiques, people who will tell you the truth, who won't just pad your with compliments, but will tell you the truth. You do that. And if that sounds like, oh, it's too much work, then it's probably not the industry for you, because it's tough. But if you're willing to work, I would say that's where you could start with at-home work, and then maybe go into doing a class. And then at that point, you can look in for an agent. Now that's for film. The same can be said for theater, but for theater, it's, I would say, a little easier to break into, because you can put on a one-person show, in a library, and it costs you a couple $100s. It's not quite the same as film. So with theater, you can kind of self-start a little easier. And so I would say do the same thing in terms of practicing at home. For both industries, I would say read books. I would say watch interviews from the pros, people who have done it, talk to them, and find out what the industry is really about, and volunteer. It's always a good idea to go and volunteer in any industry you want to get into. See what it's really like, because you have an idea of what it's like, and then when you get there, it's different. Film is not easy. I am telling you this as someone who has worked in it. I'm formally trained, and it's tough. It's really tough if you want to do it well. If you don't want to do it well, then it's super easy. So those would be my suggestions. If you ask me about theater and film, I can go on all day. So those are my suggestions. I think that's good for now.
Right. Yeah. And she also says that Juel is a jewel to others. And I said that in the beginning,
Thank you,
we have
Jenna.
a jewel coming on.
Thank you.
All right. So she says, why do we always strive to put others in categories they were never meant to be in?
Wow, that's another good question. And that's something that these characters in this book are doing. And, I feel like we have an idea of how our life's supposed to go. I think we have an idea of where we're supposed to be. And we have certain boxes we want to check. And so I feel like when people come into our life, we try and fit them in a specific box. And sometimes they don't fit, but we're so hungry for things to work out for us. We're so hungry for things to kind of feel settled, for us to feel like I've arrived. And I feel like you can survey 90-year-olds around the world and none of them will ever say they've arrived. You know, life is a continuous journey of self-discovery and giving love to receive love, you know, and loving yourself no matter what. And so I think that's why I think we want, you know, we want certain things. Everybody wants to feel loved and respected. And so you just hope that the people around you will fulfill that, even if they're not meant to.
So what about you're getting all this love on the inside, but then you feel like, you know, I need more. Like, I know my daddy loves me, mommy loves me, brother and sister loves me, babe loves me, but I think that's, you know, they just love me because, hey, family, I want more. Was that the case for you? Like you wanted to prove that you were lovable if somebody outside gave that to you?
I don't know if it's I wanted to prove that I was lovable. I think I wanted to prove that I was important. I think that was it for me, which I think is one of my character flaws, if I'm being honest. And it's pride. It's what it boils down to. And pride is not pretty. It's not pretty. It's ugly. And it's something I'm trying to rid myself of, you know? But I think that's what I wanted. I wanted to be important to people. And I think I fell into the trap of judging how important other people viewed other people. And then now waiting for someone to validate me and say, you are also important. I think I felt loved. I think it was more of feeling important, feeling to be made a priority, you know? But you have to make yourself a priority, because if you wait on other people, you'll be waiting forever. You really will. So, yeah.
And this is one of the biggest concerns in our everyday journey. So we're on this voyage and we want to find ourselves, we want to be our best selves, we want to excel and everything. But the thing is, we get to maybe a stoplight and we start asking ourselves all of these unnecessary questions. We want to figure out, you know, the unknown. We want to read minds, where we are, how people see us, how we see other people, and all of that. How did you escape this somewhat of a self-judgment? Maybe you were too critical with yourself. How did you escape this?
I think it's baby steps. And I think it's, you have to recognize you're thinking these things and catch them as you think them, you know? So I would see, let's say it literally just happened to me and I had to catch myself. I was good friends of mine. And I saw a post on Instagram that they were playing one of my favorite games together without me. How dare you? How dare you not call me?
No.
And so I immediately messaged my friend. If she's watching, she knows I'm talking about her. And I was like, when did you guys play that? Why didn't you invite me? And it's so ridiculous. Like, Juel, get over yourself. Like, you know what I mean? But it's seeing yourself reaching for that, like, oh, like, you know, like, you left me out. Why? Am I not important? Do you not value me as a friend? And of course they do, but the world doesn't revolve around you. So, like, kind of get over yourself. Do you know what I mean? But on a nicer note, it's catching those moments where you feel that moment of, does that mean I'm not important? And telling yourself, I am important and I am valued and they do love me. And remember that time that they spent with you, that other time, this is for them, and that's okay. And seeing, and every time that pops up, you know, having a friend say, oh yeah, I had coffee with my friend the other day. And I'm like, well, we haven't had coffee in a while. Catch that thought. That doesn't mean they don't value me as a friend. That's not what that means. And it's like, it becomes almost compulsive to have these thoughts and build on them, and they snowball. You have to catch them when they happen. You have to catch them, recognize them, give yourself, you know, just be honest with yourself and say, look, this is not what it means. This does not equal this. Just take a breath, and keep going. You know, sometimes you kind of have to stay in your lane. And if you look around too much, you're going to see stuff and you're going to kind of take it on. And not everything in the world is meant for you to judge yourself against. You know, it's not always a fair comparison. And you kind of just have to say, you know what, this is not for me. And that's okay. You know, so you just got, every time you have that thought, you just kind of have to catch it and talk to yourself.
Yeah.
And that's something I'm still working on. And it's a process. It's a process.
Right. And I'm glad you said that, because persons might see you and say, oh, Juel, but she wrote a book about the refining. Like, I'm expecting her to just have it. Like,
No.
You still have that issue. Like, you should be over it by now. But I'm glad you said that.
But I'm not.
You are living every day. You're supposed to be growing, learning, practicing, training. Ing, the ing, you're living. Everything is ing on it. So we have to keep. Yeah. All right. All right, Mr. Juel. So I'm going to take some more questions from Genesis. And well, she's really enjoying tonight live. Just before Genesis, Candy said, what advice do you have for first-time book writers?
Oh, Candace, good question. Candace is my very good friend. Thank you for joining in, Candace. The suggestion that I would have, based on my experience as a first-time book writer, is to learn from the people who did it before you. They've done it. They've lost a lot of money, made a lot of mistakes, done a lot of wrong things. And YouTube is a great resource. I probably went on YouTube and watched, no word of a lie, maybe 80 or plus videos on how to write a book, what to do, what not to do, the process of self-publishing, because I am self-publishing this book, and authors who have written anywhere from 5 books to 50 books. You know, there was one author who really inspired me, Michael Laron from Author Level Up, and he's written 40 plus books, and he doesn't know me from Adam. But one day I was having a tough author day, and I just took a chance and I emailed him, and I was like, I want to give up. What do you suggest? Here's my issue. And within, I think, 20 minutes, he emailed me back and he's like, thanks for reaching out. This is my advice. And I feel like the book writing community is so supportive. And especially when you find someone on YouTube who has a channel who's giving back, they're giving back. You know what? They're probably because they want to give back, because they love writing and they love talking about writing, and you can learn so much from the people who have done it before you. So that would be my number 1 place to start. And then my number 2 would be to read books that you like, read books in the genre you think you would write in, and see how they write, you know, especially books who have done really well. See how they write. How did they, how do they do their breakdown in terms of ratio of dialogue to description? You know, how do they open a chapter? How do they close a chapter? You know, that kind of thing. So that would be my advice.
All right. All right. What about some of the books that you love that you would probably recommend to anyone here?
Oh, gosh. See, the problem is it's like breaking my own rule. My favorite books are not in genre, are Such a Fun Age, and I really loved what's it called? Oh, now I'm blanking. Little Fires Everywhere.
Okay.
And one of my favorite books is Gone Girl, which is technically not the same genre. And I also love The Handmaid's Tale, which is really not like really far end of the spectrum. But those are some books that I enjoy, that I can recommend, that are kind of hot sellers. Yeah.
All right. All right. So now we're moving on to Genesis, and she says, will you turn your book into a film?
Oh, Genesis. Wouldn't that be great? Genesis, if you know anyone, please let them know about this book. Will I turn it into a film? Probably not. I don't have that kind of budget. But if somebody approached me for it to be turned into a film, I would 100% hand it over on a silver platter. I feel like because the book started as a play as a musical, I see it. You know, when I was writing this book, I could see it happening because I'm a director, I'm a actor, I'm a very visual person. And so I've already had people, I have a lot of ARC readers who are reading this to give me some reviews. And some of them have already told me that they can see it, they can envision it. So, you know, with God, anything is possible. So God, we give it to you that it will be a film, 100%. Thank you, Genesis. I would love that. I would love that. Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, Genesis. So the next question is from Elliston. He says, how did you build your brand? He may be asking this for new authors.
How did I build my brand? Elliston, good question. I would say it's still building. So I am still learning. But again, I feel like I keep going back to the same thing, learning from people who have done it before. There are some authors who have had a lot of success. One is, I'm going to say her name wrong, Alessandra Torres. And I'm sure I'm butchering her name, but she hosts a lot of free webinars for new authors. And I've been to 2 of her webinars so far, and they've been very helpful in terms of, you know, email marketing, in terms of marketing using social media, and exactly what you're talking about, building your brand. There's a lot of YouTube videos out there as well, and talking about how to build your brand. But if you specifically want to build for being an author, I would take advice from other authors, which is what I did, you know. So another person who I took a lot of advice from is Jenna Maresi, who just published her 2nd book, and she has some courses, online courses on how to build a brand as an author. And so I looked at her, I looked at other authors that I admire, like Eleanor Ortiz, who's on here. She just published her book, Desiree, which I'm reading, which is a fantastic book. It's on Amazon. I suggest everyone go out and buy Desiree by Eleanor Ortiz right now. But, you know, I look at her, I look at other authors who have done it, and I copycat. And I think, and it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's that you're looking at who's done it great, and you're saying, okay, you did it great. I'm gonna do it too. So yeah, that's what I would say.
All right. So I see a very good question here from Anjean, who says, how did you get over the hurt from your past relationships?
Okay. Thank you, Anjean, for that question. Anjean, another one of my good friends. Good friends. How did I get, I mean, again, it's a process. It really is. You know, when you have a best friend of 9 years, 14 years, just up and say, I don't want to be your friend anymore. It's really, it's hard. It's hard, and you take it. But, you know, I think it's a day-to-day process of looking at the people who you have in your life, who are with you, who are around you. I think it helps to, number one, talk about it. I think it helps to, it doesn't help to bottle everything up. Talk about it, talk to someone, you know, that this is how you feel. And I feel like the more I talk about it is the more I can say, you know what, I can put this on the side. I can leave this alone now. And it's getting better every day. I would say talk about it. I would say focus on the people who do love you, who are around you, who are treating you well. And I would say distance really helps as well. Is if you can put distance between you and that person. I mean, if it's someone you're in a relationship with still, then that's a bit different. But if it's someone that, you know, you kind of don't see anymore, you need to forgive them for yourself. You need to forgive them. You know, it always helps me to pray for them because that helps me forgive them. And to wish them well, you know, wish them well in my heart. And you need that forgiveness for yourself, even if they never hear it, even if they never apologize, which I've never gotten any apology.
Listen, I was about to ask you, how can you forgive someone who never even said, Juel, I'm sorry?
Yeah, no. You know what? You have to choose to not dwell on it. If you're dwelling on it and you're playing it over and over again, how could they do this? How could they do this? How could they say this? It's just going to build. you need to let it go. You need to say, okay, I'm not going to think about this. And I find myself, and my husband is so awesome. I find myself, I like to talk to myself, which is how I wrote half of this book, is talking to myself and then writing down what I said. And it's like, I get in a loop of just like, how could they do this? And how could they do this? And he'll peep his head in the room and be like, are you okay? Like, yeah, you're right. Thank you for the reminder. I need to let this go. I need to stop dwelling on this. And you need to, every time you hear yourself going into that loop, break the chain, just cut it off right there and say, you know what? I'm not going to deal with this anymore. I'm going to let it go. And that is the journey to starting to forgive them. And like I said, praying for them, wishing them well, you know, not wishing any harm come to them, and really truly hoping in your heart that they will do well and be prosperous. And you kind of release that to them. And whether they continue to hate on you, not your business, not at all your business. You just stay in your lane and you continue on. And you heal that way. You heal and you create separation, and time heals a lot too. Just let time pass from it. Keep wishing them well, stay in your lane. And yeah, that's it.
Even when you're hurt, you're still saying, you know, you have my blessing. Just
that's really it. That's really, I'm not just saying it. Like, I mean, I can think of someone, but I can think of someone who really hurt me, like a friend, a best friend. All the Jamaicans, we were a body and bench. That's how we were. That's okay. And for years, 10 plus years. And she up and was like, one day, like, I don't want to be your friend anymore. And I was like, okay. And I saw she had a really bad breakup on Facebook, and I just emailed her out of blue. And I was like, you know what? I am really sorry. You deserve better than that. And I really pray you find someone who loves you the way you deserve. And I had to force myself to send that email and to say, you know what? She's hurting and she may not want to hear from me. And it's been how many years since we've talked, but that's the right thing to do. And that's what I would want someone to do to me. And that's what I did. And she sent me a sweet message back. We're not friends still. She still never apologized to me, and we haven't really reconciled, and that's okay. I'm okay with that, but it's just making the choice. It's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's making the choice. It's just minute by minute to say, okay, I'm releasing myself from whatever mess we've created, whether your fault, my fault, doesn't matter. I'm releasing myself, you know, go with peace, and I'm going to go my way with peace. And that's it. Yeah.
Praise God. Praise God. So a fascinating thing about refining or refinement is all about removing impurities that would otherwise keep you from, you know, that perfection, that beauty, you know, gold, when that process, that gold. That's why we said earlier that we have a jewel coming online, because it is true. It is true. That's all I'm seeing. You didn't even tell me that part, but you know, I see jewel coming out of that. The process that you've been through, the hurt, it's not easy. It's like having to forgive someone who never forgave you on this life's journey.
Yeah.
It's not an easy road.
It's not. But you know what? If you're committed to your mental health and you're committed to be happy, you have to step on that road and you have to just go forward. It's much more fun to just be bitter about it and be mad, but that fun runs out real quick when you're left alone and you're just feeling hurt, and it's like you're adding on to your own hurt. You have to let it go. And in the moment it's like the opposite. In the moment it feels awful because you're like, why am I being nice to this person? But in the long run you feel better. You do. Yeah, I
see. And you sound like a real barrier breaker, because everybody has to at some point face the matter of whether or not you want to forgive. As you said, placing value on your joy and happiness. Release yourself from this mess, right? It's all about defining the jewel, the real jewel inside of you. Have you ever thought about what the meaning of your first name is? Is it actually Jewel? No.
It's not. It's not.
Okay. No. Okay. All right. I was about to Google it. Listen to me now, people. Here she said, Batty and bench. You can be so close to somebody and they stab you in the face.
Yeah.
These days, people are so, they're, what we say, dry eye. Yeah. They don't need nothing. They're just in the face. They don't need you to turn your back. They just
Yeah.
done. Yep. And you have to be the big woman, right? The big man to say, all right, then I'm hurt and I could be bitter. We could continue this tussle, but I'm just going to let it be.
Yep. That's
Let
right.
it, let it be. Let it be. Let it be. All right. I'm looking for questions. Looking for questions. So Jared says, who are your main authors, playwrights, artists, stylistic influences? I think you maybe gave us a few others.
I did. Thank you, Jared. What a good question. Jared, my very long time good friends. Good question, Jared. I did mention some already in terms of influencing my author journey. Michael Laron from Author Level Up, Jenna Maresi, Meg Latour, Alessandra Torres, who I know I'm butchering her name, Eleanor Ortiz, who I believe is watching, are just a few of the authors who I have contact with, who I grow from. You know, there are authors who are far away and you read their books and you admire their writing, but you have no contact with them. Those are the authors I can name who have directly influenced me and helped me on my journey.
All right. So we're coming down, guys. Genesis is in love. So she said, yes, Little Fires Everywhere is a good series. I need to check that out. I don't want to be left out. The Hulu show is good. All right.
Yeah, the Hulu show was very good. It was slightly different from the book, which always happens, but still very good. Very good, yeah.
All right. Maybe a good series would do me some good here. Yes. Write the vision, make it plain. Love how authors support other authors. This is so important. And this is an author, by the way.
Oh, yes. Good, Genesis. Awesome.
And she says, how long did it take you to write your book? What are some of your writing tips that work for you and did not work for you? Ooh, cool question.
That's a very good question. Okay, so how long did it take to write the book? It took me, I started in April and I was done by August. I would say I was done by August, beginning of August, end of July. So it didn't take me long, but mind you, it was already a play. So I already had, the characters had been in my head for 6 years. And I already knew their motivation. I already knew their hearts. I already knew their struggles. And actually in between the play and the book, I, like I said, always visioned these characters in front of me. And so I actually wrote them into a TV series. And so I had 12 episodes plotted out of this TV series, but I never did anything with it. And so I took a combination of those two and made it into this book. So the characters have been in the works for years, but I would say a few months to this book, April, May, June, July, August, 5 months, and which is really fast. And most people would not advise you to write that fast, but I did it. And we'll see if everybody thinks it's good or not. We'll see. And some writing tips that worked or didn't work for me. The one writing tip that it worked sometimes and didn't work was recording myself. There's software that you can use, that's speech to text software, which I thought would help me write faster. And it did at some points. So I would basically talk out the story and then it would transcribe the story for me. There were parts of the novel where that worked really well. And there were parts where it didn't work at all. And it actually cost me more time than if I had just written it out myself. The dialogue heavy parts did not work well. But the kind of more plot points worked. Also, I used a program called Scrivener, which is a writing program for writing novels. And that really helped. That definitely helped in terms of organizing my chapters. I had an author who suggested that worked for her to use Google Docs. And what she did is she put a different chapter in a different Google document. I started that way, and that did not work for me. That was it frustrated me almost to tears, because it was so difficult to keep track of all the different chapters. They wouldn't stay in the right order. Google Docs took time to load, and I just found Scrivener so much easier to use. So yeah, those are some tips. Those are some things that worked for me. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Her next concern, do you have a marketing strategy for your book? A lot of people say that is key when putting out your book.
Yes, again, marketing, something I learned from these awesome authors that are all around me. So my marketing strategy, I started my Instagram page for this book. I did not have Instagram before this book, so it's basically dedicated to this book. Another marketing strategy that I used, I know how important reviews are. And I know that on Amazon, if you have at least, some say 25, some say 50 reviews, Amazon will actually promote your book for you. And so I've been spending a lot of time contacting ARC reviewers. ARC is Advanced Reader Copy. So contacting ARC reviewers to review the ARC of the book so that I can get reviews lined up, because reviews are like gold. You can tell someone that your book is good, read my book all you want till you're blue in the face and you faint from exhaustion. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. But when you can get someone else to say something about your book, then that carries weight, So I would say that's my main marketing strategy. I've used those. If you go to my Instagram, Juel Brown 1, I have turned those reviews into images and different quotes, and I've lined up all those quotes on there. So I've just been able to use and reuse and recycle all of those reviews. And when the book does launch on November 4th, I'm going to be able to contact all of those ARC reviewers and ask them to post their review, and hopefully flood Amazon with reviews, Amazon, Goodreads, and all that. So that should be very, very good for my marketing. I haven't spent any money on marketing. I'm a mom with 2 kids. I don't have $1 million to spend here and there and everywhere. So I have to be creative. So they say the key with marketing is either you're going to spend your time or you're going to spend your money. What's more valuable? And I don't got the money, so I'm spending my time. So that's been the main number one thing I've been focused on. So if you buy the book and you love it, I would really appreciate a review whenever you end up reading it. That would be great. So, because reviews help authors like you wouldn't believe. They are like gold. Yeah.
And going back to the comments, based on what you spoke about earlier on the topic of forgiveness and getting rid of bitterness, wanting to refine your life, getting rid of the impurities. Is it Braylon?
I'm sorry, Shanique. I'm having trouble hearing you.
Okay.
So, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Well, I'm not hearing you, but I can read the question. Okay. It's not a question. You mature one, cycle never end. That's very true. You have to be the mature one. You have to, like Shanique said, be the bigger woman, or if you're a man, be the bigger man. Braylon. Hi, Braylon. That's another one of my good friends. Oh, my friends are supporting me today. Thank you, guys. Yes, you definitely have to be the mature one and just say enough is enough, and move on, so that you can move on and be happy. Yeah. All
right. So someone is just joining us from YouTube. Lamar is just getting here. He says, how do you move away from the hurts of your past relationships in order to not affect your current or present?
Wow, it's tough. Lamar, it's not easy. It's tough. You have to keep telling yourself that what happened in the past is past, and that person that hurt you is not this person in front of you. And if you continuously compare them, if you compare the relationships, if you compare how this person treats you versus how that person treated you, or even how someone treats you, and compared to how you expect them to treat you, it's never going to line up in your head, and you're always going to have a failed expectation, and it's going to hurt you, and it's going to make you disappointed or frustrated or angry. You know, a new relationship is a new opportunity to learn about that person and have them learn about you and learn about the dynamics of that relationship. And it's a fresh start. You know, you do come with those hurts, and they make you wiser, and they make you kind of understand more about yourself and how you react to people. But you can't let it be a wall between you and the person that you're going to develop a new relationship with, whether it's a romantic relationship or a friendship, whatever it is. You know, you can't let it be a wall.
You're actually answering Lamar's second or third question. He says, how do great guys bypass a female's defense mechanism that develop from their past hurts?
Wow. That's a good question, Lamar. Okay, so my answer is going to be, if you're a great guy and there's a woman who's still dealing with hurts, then she's probably not the girl for you. And if there's a girl you're trying to bypass her defense mechanisms, probably not the girl for you. She's probably not ready for a relationship. What are my credentials? I've been married for 10 years. So I'm telling you, if she has something and she's fighting against you and she's bringing up the past boyfriends and they did this, so you're just the same. And I would say number one is always communication. And people say this and it's a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason. It's true. I've been married for over 10 years. It's true. You need to communicate. And I would just sit down with this girl, if you're dating or considering marriage, and I would just say, hey, I'm Lamar. I'm not, you know, Steve and Richard and Jeffrey. I'm not them. I'm Lamar. I'm not treating you like Cindy, Candace, and, you know, Jalea. I'm not treating you like that. I'm treating you like you. So we need to have an open, fresh, new relationship. And, you know, like I said, you come with these past hurts and you got to heal those hurts. You have to be whole. You know, you have to be whole, and you step to another whole person, and together you can be whole. But if that lady is not ready to let go of those past hurts, and she's going to judge you based on the treatment of those past boyfriends, then you can have a conversation with her, because I'm not saying, oh, just drop her and run. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that is not a recipe for a healthy relationship. You're going to want to talk to her. If she's open to grow and she's open to learn and she's open to have that dialogue and you grow together, then it's up to you. Is she worth it? Is it something that you really see, going the long haul? If it is, then you stay and you work and you continuously have that open dialogue, not out of anger, but when she does that comparison and she brings up that past hurt, you just say, hey, sweetie, remember what we talked about? You know, it's happening again. Can we work on this? Can we work on this together? You know, how can we deal with this? If she's not ready to deal with it, then you might have to go and find the person who is ready to give you a fresh start and a clean slate. That would be my advice, my humble advice.
And Lamar says, brilliant words of wisdom.
Thanks for the question, Lamar.
Genesis says, when you think of the past, think about the rearview mirror is always smaller than the windshield for a reason. Never go back to your vomit.
Yes. Very true, Genesis. Very true. Very true.
Lamar says, marriage, that's way down the road.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Cool. All right. So I'm going to close with my last concern, right? What is, the most fascinating thing about the whole refining that you want us to look forward to? Because we all need to go and get that book on November 4th. So, oh Lord, something just happened. All right. Brace yourselves, y'all. She's coming back. All right. She's here.
sorry about that.
That's fine. It's fine. All right. So tell us about the most fascinating thing we can look forward to with or in the refining.
Okay, I really hope that the fascinating thing that you're going to love about the book is the fact that it's written in 6 point of views. Most books are 1 point of view, some are 2. The most I've ever seen is 4, and I've done 6. And a lot of people who give you writing advice will tell you don't do that, and it's not good. And I did it. So hopefully you'll find it fascinating. The reviews I've gotten so far have been very positive for the most part, that people kind of like how the characters intertwine. I'm a fan of movies like Crash or shows like Parenthood, where you follow all these different characters and you see how their lives kind of gravitate towards hearing the point of view of all these different characters and being able to step into the shoe of each character. You know, like I said, storytelling is so important to me, and I really hope that audiences take away that what you feel, like what I felt, you know, in those kind of dark moments, in those alone moments, that you're not alone. You know, and so I'm hoping that one of these point of views, if not more than one, and the struggles that these characters are going through will resonate with these readers. And I hope that you'll be able to see that what you're going through, you're not the only one. You're not the only one. Someone else feels it. Someone else is going through it. And I hope that you can relate to these characters like real people. And so all these point of views, I'm really hoping that they help you really step into the shoe of that character and really hear where they're coming from, and that real person behind the character comes through.
All right. So we're going to learn about refinement and how we can be refined. So I'll take the final comment from Mel Davis. She says, interestingly, when I hear the words refining self, the focus is never about what others have done to hurt you. Believe sometimes they really do wreck us. Instead, the focus is now turned inwards to be your best self. Yeah.
It's true. It's very true, Mel, you know, and that was one of my big problems, is I was focusing on the outward. I was focusing on what other people were saying about me, how other people were treating me, and not, you know, who am I really, you know, and what do I think about myself, and, you know, and what does God say about me, you know, and that's the truth. That's the truth, and not putting these comparisons on myself with other people and how they see me and what they think about me. But what is the truth of it? What is the truth of who I am? And that's looking inward, and that's looking at your own insecurities. That's looking at your own judgments. That's looking at your own filter that you're putting on the world and saying the world looks at me this way, that means I am this. It's not the case, you know. And you definitely have to look inward 100% if you want to overcome that, for sure.
All right, so please accept my apologies. I missed a question earlier from Genesis. She wanted to know what the ARC reviews are, if it's ARK reviewers.
Sure. So it's ARC. It stands for Advanced Reader Copies. So basically what this is this is a copy of your book that you send to people to review the book before the book is published. So my book is going to be out till November 4th. So copies that I send to Bookstagrammers or YouTubers or people who review books, either for a living or for fun, I send them these copies. And so this is an advanced copy. That means advanced reader copies sometimes will still have a few grammatical errors. They might still have a few formatting errors because it's not the final copy. It's still a copy that's in the works. So ARC reviewers will read this advanced copy, and then they will write a review based on the story, the character arc, the plot, and those general things, ignoring any formatting issues. Sometimes advanced copies don't even have a cover yet. ignoring any formatting issues. So it's just to give the author a chance to get some reviews of their book and get some feedback on their book that they can use for promotions before the book is public. Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense. All right. So I'm going to do a quick mini roll call. Is Kadian still online? Kadian, let me know if you're still here. So Kadian is going to be doing a giveaway. So we're not going to give away a book tonight. You're just going to have to go and get it on November 4th.
I do have a giveaway starting tomorrow. And so you're very welcome to join that giveaway tomorrow. All the information is on my social media. It's on my website, juelbrown.com. So the giveaway starts tomorrow. And so and when you join, even if you don't win, everyone is going to receive a deleted scene from the book that's not in here, and also 2 scenes from the musical that inspired the book. So if you when you go on and you tag your friends to be in the giveaway, if you tag Truth Talk Series, I will give you 10 extra entries just for everybody who's on here. Okay, so instead of 1 entry, you'll get 11 because you'll get 1 plus 10 if you tag Truth Talk Series for my giveaway that starts tomorrow. So look out for that. But sorry, go ahead, Shanique, with the other giveaway.
That's fine. So I'm gonna thank you for that. I think, well, what I'm gonna ask you to do is maybe, I don't know if you have a short clip or something you can share. You can tag TalkTruth Series Facebook page so that persons can see that you're gonna be doing that.
Absolutely.
Or just write a post, whichever.
Yes.
All right. So guys, all of Juel's information is in the description, both on Facebook and YouTube. So Kadian says that she's still here. She's gonna be doing a giveaway for credit. So I'm going to send her. I'm not sure if she can join this way. I'm posting the link in the comments. I'm not sure if she can join that way. Kadian. All right, so Kadian, if you can't join with the link on the description or in the comments, I sent you an email. So check your email quickly. So that would be it for Juel's interview, but don't go. I don't want you to go. I still want you to tell us what we should expect. Are you gonna have a virtual book launch? What can we do to show you our support?
Thank you so much, Shanique. That means so much to me. What you can do to show your support is share the book. You know, like I said, my Instagram is full and my Facebook is full of posts about the book. And what you can do is share it. Until November 4th, you can share it with a friend. You can post it. You can share any of my posts about the book. But the number 1 way that you can show your support is to, yes, buy the book. I wanted to do a promotion so that it can be free. The e-copy is going to be very cost effective. Under $5, the e-copy. But the number 1 thing is to write a review. That is so helpful for me. If you can write a review, the book is going to be enlisted in Kindle Unlimited. So if you are enrolled in Kindle Unlimited, the book will be free for you for the e-copy. So just that review is so important. So if you can purchase the book or get it free from Kindle Unlimited and then write the review on Amazon, that is the number 1 way you can help me. But until then, just share the book. I would so appreciate that. Thank you, everyone, so much.
We appreciate that. Of course, from an author to an author, I understand how much, of a gold mine the reviews are. And sometimes it can be challenging, especially if you feel as if you have to be begging people to go over to Amazon and give me a review.
Yes.
That's how you support authors. And I really thank you for sharing your story with us tonight. I appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely.
9:30 at night. It was 9:30 over there.
Yes. Yeah.
I thank you for partaking in tonight's series. Any final encouragement that you want to leave with us as it relates to our individual refinement?
I just want to encourage everyone to continue to know that you are valid, your feelings are valid, you have worth, and you know, you are valid in this world, your feelings are valid, and you know, you are loved. So know that. And I open myself up personally. If anybody is out there ever feeling discouraged, ever feeling down, send me a DM and Instagram, and let's talk about it. Never feel like you are alone in this world. You are not alone. So I
Yes.
personally offer myself to encourage anyone who's ever feeling down. You should never
Mhm.
feel like you're alone. You're not alone. You are loved.
Yes. Yes. And I personally can't wait to read that book. I forgot to mention you have a YouTube channel. Tell us about that quickly. Forgive me.
I'm sorry. I'm not hearing you. I'm so sorry. I'm not hearing you.
You have a YouTube channel?
YouTube channel. Is that what you
Mhm.
said? Yes.
Yeah.
So I have a YouTube channel. It's called Storyteller's Handbook. I mostly talk about theater, how to get into theater, and theater advice. I also talk a little bit about being an author. I did my unboxing of my proof on my YouTube channel. I haven't been on there recently because I've been so dedicated to getting the book out. But if you're interested in getting into theater, there's some information there for you. That's what most of the channel is dedicated to. Yeah.
Right. Please forgive us, guys. So, service provider failed a little, but I just want to extend a thank you, big thank you to Joel and all the people who remained online until I got back on. Thank you for your patience. I'm going to give us a little bit of the song that was released today. I have been announcing it since last week that a local artist, gospel artist, released his song, and it's called Sin Now We're Again by Ryan Davis. This is the album art. I'll be sharing a bit of that while Kadian asks her question. So she's gonna be telling us what the giveaway is and what the question is. So you have to answer a question. All right. We're ready,
You
Kadian.
wake
We're
me up
ready.
from the bed. No, just wake up, you know. Good night, good night, good night.
Funny.
You wake me up. Your voice wake me up my bed. Good night, everyone.
All right.
I want to give away credit for a child who is doing online class. So if you have a child, only person can participate. You gotta have a child that doing online classes. Credit is not for you, but the child to put on data to do classes. So if you have a child that is using data, you are welcome to participate.
All right, so for the few persons who are here, I'm going to give you a minute to invite a few more people who you believe would benefit from this credit. And this is if you have a child or children who does online classes. So in the meantime, I'm going to give you a little bit of sing now we're again, like 1 minute, 30 seconds. Invite some friends over so we can have more participants on the stream. Just a second. So continue to share. I'm going to bring back the all right. All right, so I'm giving y'all 30 seconds. All right. So I'm giving the persons who are no longer here a few minutes to come on so we can have more participants. Song was released today, y'all. Don't forget to subscribe to his channel. This is Ryan Davis. Now we are again. All right, so I'm gonna let Katie and ask her question. Get your quick fingers ready, guys. Hopefully you'll be the fortunate one to win the credit for tonight. Go ahead.
Who was the first Prime Minister of Jamaica?
Is one question now?
Don't ask me.
No, I want to ask you for one question.
Why?
Because
They
the
must
live
get that.
done.
Come on, man. Come on.
A one question them for answer?
Yeah.
Okay. So the one and only question for how much credit?
$5. $5 US.
All right. So credit courtesy of Cadian Palmer Asemota, who was the first Prime Minister of Jamaica. If you get this correct.
I can't see the comment though.
All right. So the first person to answer is Kimmy Kells.
Okay. So
second person answer is Sir Alexander Bustamante Alwyn Brooks. Will you announce the winner, Cadian?
You announce the winner. I can't see. So announce the winner, Han.
Who Kimmy Kells, do you have a child attending online classes? She says, yes, I do.
Okay. So get the number.
Right. So Kimmy Kells, you can reach out to Cadian after this. Well, reach out to Cadian Palmer, or you can reach out. I'll connect you both after the show. So congratulations to tonight's winner, Kimmy Kells. Big up yourself on winning that credit. Don't forget to subscribe to TalkTruth Series YouTube channel, and don't forget to like and share the live, and give your support to Juel, who is the author of tonight. Is that all, Cadian?
Yeah. Night.
All right. Have a good night, ma'am.
You too, hon.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Like, we got cut out as we were about to close.
So sorry about that.
But thank you for coming back on, and thank you for your patience. A few people are no longer here. but we did the giveaway, and so I'm going to just show them what the book looks like. This is it, The Refining by J.C. Brown, Juel Brown, author of the night. And don't forget to set your reminders on your calendar. Don't forget to look out for her book. It's coming out November 4th. Like as 12 o'clock come,
Yes.
expect it.
Yes.
Expect the book to be there. Share the book, share your feedback with her, leave her a kind review,
Yes.
purchase her book, even if you don't like to read. Purchase it for someone who loves adventure. Isn't this book
Great.
adventurous? Right. Get it for somebody who loves a good adventure, who loves seeing things from different points of view. You love seeing, feeling characters. Reading a book is the perfect way of interacting with the author. Did y'all know that? I love it. I love it. I talk to the author without actually talking to them, but you know an author tonight. If you never knew one before, you know one more, or you know one, and you can reach out to her, follow her on Facebook, on Instagram. Her information is on the screen and it's in the description. She also has a YouTube channel. All right, subscribe.
Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Shanique, for this opportunity. It's great. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure. So y'all have a great rest of your night.
Yes.
If you were blessed by what we did, forgetting about the little mishap with the service provider, you can send us your gifts to our PayPal information. It's on the screen. It's also in the comments. And of course, once we purchase anything, we will let you know how your gift is being used. So we just want to thank you again. We continue to encourage you to subscribe to the channel. Help us build this platform so we don't have to charge anyone to come on, and help us to invite more authors, more entrepreneurs, more people you can learn from, more people who are real talk, real people live every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays. Thank you, Juel. We will definitely keep in touch, and I definitely am going to get my copy of that book.
Thank you.
Yeah. So have a good night. Have a safe night, everyone. Thank you for watching. See you all on Thursday.
Yes, bye.
Yeah. All right.